Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to another weekly market forecast with Yemi Olaleye, covering for the month of April 13th to 17th, and let's see what the market has for us. It's a beautiful week ahead. On the fundamental outlook, we start with there is no high impact news on Monday, which is 13th of April, and on Tuesday, 14th, we have one high impact news on US dollar only, 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time, and that is called PPI. On Wednesday, we have none. On Thursday, we have AUD and GBP pounds coming up 2:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. Nigerian time. AUD is focusing on employment change and unemployment rate, and GBP is focusing on GDP rate. And that is all we have for our impact news for this week. Going forward into the weekly time frame analysis or the technical parts of the business. So let's see what we have for this week. On the daily time frame perspective for DSY, we've shifted below the previous structure where we have a break of a previous low trend line. And I talked about this on Friday. So we're looking at what the market is creating now. It's an energy for a bearish momentum, which seems to go as far as to this price level around 97.60, which is right here. And that is the projection we have on the daily time frame. And peradventure, if this gets it, what are we expecting? We're still expecting more bullish momentum to our original weekly demand, weekly supply zone, which is sitting just above here at 104.80. So on this particularly, it seems more like the price will be heading here on the daily time frame perspective, and that is where we're looking for the market to head into going forward. So if we'll be having a sell from here, that means on Euro US dollar, we should be having buys. On the 4-hour time frame perspective, this is exactly how it looks like. And the gap we're looking at here, I thought it was going to cover up in the first few days of the week, but no, the price was shifting bearish momentum energy since then. And with that outlook, therefore, we just need to wait and see how this low will be broken in the market. And when that happens, we'll see the price hitting this level in the next couple of days. So this is a projection I have for this week on this one particularly. I also see more bearish momentum from here. Then let's go to the next one, which is the Euro US dollar. And checking that from the weekly time frame perspective, what do we have here? Excuse me. So on the weekly time frame, we also have a buy momentum, which is right above here. And let's see what we have just below before then. On the lower time frame, which is the daily, we've seen that previous weeks have been more ranging in the markets, but last week was spectacular. On the daily time frame perspective, this is the daily supply zone, which we see the price looking at. And with that outlook, therefore, within this price range, I would be looking for a sell momentum to happen right there. But then I would love to refine this level on the lower time frame. So to refine and to reduce my risk appetite on this one particularly, what I'll do is go into 4-hour time frame perspective and see how this level works out for me. Then on 4-hour time frame, I'm just going to shift this a little. I'm going to create something like this. Sorry, I'm just going to bring a cell here. This takes my time, and I don't think I'll be doing this today. I'll just have this level marked up the other way around instead of me drawing this for you. So this is what I'll be looking for right here. So I want to see more sell or more buy into this level before we have more sell later on. So with this now, it makes it clearer that this is what we're looking for in this market particularly. And from there, we want to see what else comes afterwards. Okay, that is that on Euro US dollar. We're looking for more bullish momentum at the beginning of this week, like you see that. So that opportunity still remains fresh. Over 100 pips thereabouts on average is sitting around here. And that is what we have here on Great Pounds US dollar. Let's see what we have on the weekly time frame perspective. Of course, yes, this also has shifted significantly, as you can see how the price has been a bullish one for last week, and it has taken all the previous rejection weeks we had in the market. It has equally get there, but not above those zones. So that means we can translate this on the lower time frame perspective as though that the price has actually bought significantly. And what is this looking like? Like we are having a bullish momentum above the current price level, and that is where we'll be expecting the price to go into on the daily level. This is not clear as we see that on the Euro US dollar as our supply level is concerned, but let's see what we have on 4-hour time frame. If it looks good, we're going to be working with that. Ideally, yes, this is what I have instead of the 4-hour time, 1-hour time frame perspective. This is my refinement on the 4-hour time frame. Stop losses are above just these levels right here, and I want to see the price is in this level and continue to give us a sell momentum from here. That is my projection on Great Pounds US dollar going forward for this week. And when the price gets here, yes, I want to see a bullish momentum, but we can always talk about this next time. For now, the focus is to see the price actually getting here before we sell off right here. Okay, this is more tricky than the Euro US dollar, but ideally, Yeah, this is the risk management we're going to employ to make sense at the end of the day. Or on the AUD US dollar, let's look what we have here on the weekly time frame perspective. I'm not really joking with these levels. I'm not interested. I want to see it sell off into this weekly demand zone before I look for a buy. And currently, it's not doing that. We have a massive bullish momentum for last week, and daily time frame perspective suggests that we still have more of these markets hitting a resistance zone of this previous level at 0.7158 thereabout. And with that, therefore, it means we can just wait and see the reaction of the market, just giving us more of bearish energy before we take action. So what are we doing here is very simple. I'm going to be extending my projection, and also I'm going to make this one just align to that without shifting the price parameters. So I can shift the time expectation, but not the parameters. So this is what I'm looking for, right? So with this now, it is very, very clear on daily time frame perspective, looking for more sell before we buy. On the 4 hour time frame perspective, how does that look like? I'm looking for a structure which is right here. I just want to define it clearly. This is what we have here. So it's better for me to wait for a buy into this level and just like this than to jump on a buy right now on AUD US dollar. So this is my projection. This is going really smooth because I talked about this on Friday, and this was one of the things we talked about our boot camp on Thursday as well. So it's not new to me now. And on this guy, particularly on NZD US dollar, what we have was very simple. Looking for more bullish momentum, just like on the other counterpart of this guy, we're looking for more bullish momentum before we sell. It's the same thing with NZD US dollar. We're expecting more bullish momentum to get into this price level here before we now look for a sell. So that will be the projection going forward for this week. On the daily time frame perspective and weekly, how does it look like? On the daily, let's go with weekly first. The weekly was a massive bullish one. We took out liquidity below this price level. So definitely we should be looking for more buy, taking liquidity above before we sell again, just like the opposite of the DXY. And on the daily time frame perspective, also we had was very similar to that of the previous guys, which is the Euro US dollar and the Great Pounds US dollar. Bullish, bullish, bullish momentum. Want to see it break above here, go to a zone like this, grab liquidity, then start selling. So I'm not going to fall for this sell actually, which the previous candle of this one has shown me a buy momentum, which also there's a rejection right here, meaning that we should be looking for more sell, but I won't be doing that. I'd rather wait to see more buy momentum right here than to be liquidated. So above these highs, I want to see stop losses being hit, and then that is when I'll be looking for a sell right there. So I'll just put my arrow here. I'm not interested in the box. I'll just put this here. Okay. So this is what I'll be expecting to see going forward. And then on lower time frame perspective, like 1 hour, there's still different opportunities, but I think I'm not talking about them. I'll just be sitting on this one particularly. And on the weekly time frame perspective, look at what we have here on the what's it called? USD CAD. This O level is a supply zone, is a demand zone rather. This is where we'll be seeing the price eating into in the future. All right, just like the DSY is suggesting to us on the weekly time frame. So I just try to walk around that previous zone. What will I do here? I'll just write W for you to know that is the weekly demand zone. So with that, therefore, let's go to the daily time frame and let's see what that means. On the daily time frame, it means we will be waiting to see the price coming into this entire range. But for me, look at this. This is not really making sense. About 85 pips on the table. I can be putting down on the table to risk the market ideally. So what I'll be doing is very simple. I'm going to be taking off that level, a little bit of that zone to refine my egg tree points, which means I'll be looking for something like this. Okay, this is a daily time frame perspective though. It's expected and stop loss will still be below here. So that's the difference. But ideally, let me just call it what it is right here for now. Then I will refine on the lower time frame perspective. What I'm saying essentially is I'm expecting more sell here before the price actually gives me a buy. And then on 4 hour time frame perspective, what I'm expecting is very simple too. Look at this entire zone. Just below it is where the opportunity lies. But I want to see the price actually reacting to this zone right here on the 4 hour time frame perspective, because this is where I'm seeing a buying momentum from. It is not neat. It is not the usual type of energy that we want to see. But let's see what we have on the 1 hour time frame perspective. This is also sitting around where we should be looking for another opportunity in the future. This is they're just not really nice now. These are not nice price actions right there. They're not too nice. They're not too nice. So just wait on the 4 hour time frame because we have a break here. We have a break here. So it is very possible that the buy will continue. All right, we might have more buy later on after the price eating here. We might have more buy, but trust me, this is what the price is showing right now. Let's see how the price unfold when the market opens. Then we have more insight on what exactly we would be doing. So for now, yeah, let's enjoy the sell momentum. Looks massively bearish, as you can see. On 4 time frame, we have that complete breakdown into lower highs and lower lows. So with that, therefore, we're just going to move on with this. I don't want to waste more time. Okay, that is that on that. So that is USD card. Let's go with the next energy. This is looking bullish anyways. It's looking bullish a little, but I want to see if they will be breaking above to create this kind of energy right here above this level, above this high. There we sweep into this level, then we continue this whole charade right here. So this is also possible, whereby I could be having something like this. All right, that's also possible. But let's go, let's go. There's no time. So we have USDJPY. What we have here is I'm going to take this out. It's too much of a thing. Okay, that was my projection in the class anyway. On the weekly time frame perspective, what do we have here? Weekly time frame is good. We have a momentum here. Don't forget that at some point we're looking for the price to get here at this level, right? And look at what the price has done for a couple of weeks now, like 4 to 5 weeks. It's been ranging around here. This favorably gaps on where everybody wants to sell off. But I want to see the price actually hitting above their stop losses and getting into this weekly supply zone before we look for a sell. So this is what it's looking like on the weekly time frame, more of ranging. Okay. On the daily time frame perspective, I'm just giving you context to understand exactly what I'm looking at in the market for me to take a buy on this one particularly before we endure that sell. So little thing we need to also consider is we might have a little bit of sell right here on the USDJPY when the price gets here above here, which is around that 161.60. So currently, the price on the DXY is looking more bearish that we're going to a lower time frame to see opportunity. Probably price it can actually be hitting below here, can actually be hitting here. But let's see what we have on the 4 time frame perspective. I don't want to analyze this one because the price is looking like we need more bullish momentum before we have a sell. And with what we have here, bearish energy is also within this price level. So this one particularly we are stuck. This is USDJPY. We are really stuck on particular things. So on 4 time frame perspective, let's see what we have here. We simply have a buy momentum, which give us we are in the middle. And let's be honest, we're in the middle. And I want to see a buy momentum like this. Can you see my projection before now? I want to see buy momentum that takes us to this supply level before we have a sell. That will take us to a level like this. So what is exactly at this lower level? I'm going to show you that on the 1 hour time frame. But ideally, I want to see more sell momentum overall because DSY is suggesting that we'll be seeing a sell on this one particularly. On 1 hour time frame, let's be honest, this is what it looks like. Okay, this is my entire chart now. So let's see. So that daily or weekly demand zone that you saw the other time, this is it right here above here. That's why it is huge. And I'm going to refine it as price gets closer to that level, but not now. So this is what I'm saying. Look at where we have the price above here. This is very good. And this is a 1 hour time frame perspective. This is where I want to see the price get into before I have opportunity for a sell. So that means what I'm looking for is very simple. I'm just going to take that out. I want to see the price getting here before I sell off in the future. And at the same time, I want to see the price getting into this range before I buy off in the future. So why am I doing this? I hate it as much as I can confess. I really hate that. But trust me, that is what the price is showing now. We are stuck in the middle. So 1 hour time frame perspective, this is how stuck we are. And this is what I'm showing you. So it depends on how you see it. Wait for the price to confirm any of this confirmation, any of this price level for execution rather, then that makes sense afterwards. So I'll be looking for buy when the price gets here, and more likely this is what I should be seeing in the market. Overall, we can first see the buy before the price actually move here and do this entire thing like doing it this way. So you don't really know. I don't know how the price will open, but let's just trade with caution. Okay, so this is very possible too. We might be having this in the market, and then the price just giving us the opportunity again to start. This I don't do this. It takes away my time a lot. So okay, we might have the price just setting us up for this one particularly. We have massive bearish momentum. We have the recovery to this level, which I talked about at the beginning of the week, that this entire sale we're going to have the recovery, and it has happened right here. So yeah, let's see how the market unfold on 4 hour time frame. How does it look like? This is what we see on the 4 hour time frame perspective. Okay. And this one particularly is more or less a very good zone on 4 hours for us to look for a sell. Okay. So if I'm putting a sell there, it should be like this. This is what we want to see on this 4 hour time frame perspective. I don't just want to extend this one particularly right here. Okay. It may not be too massive, but this is what it looks like on the 4 hour time frame for this one. So this is USD JPY, and that is the outlook I have on this one, particularly for this week. So let's go forward. Let's see what we have again on the USDCHF. On this one, weekly time frame perspective, what do we have? Massive bearish momentum for last week, just like DXY. And of course, just below this price level is where the real money is. So everything you're seeing around there is where the money is. All of this price level here, we have money sitting right there in between. Okay, so what we'll be doing is very simple. I want to see how the price will move around this and definitely grab liquidity. So above it is where we're looking for a target for a sell, but let's see that on the daily time frame perspective. Quickly, let's see how that looks like. This is it here, massive bullish momentum recovery after the massive bearish one. All through the January that we're selling, the recovery is over here. I gave this setup a few weeks ago that we should be selling from here, this entire range like this going forward. And look at the price movements move just like that, and it's been amazing. So far so well, what we have here is I don't want to use this zone as the fair value gap zone that you see. I don't want to use it because it has been tapped into once. Okay, so what I'll be waiting for rather is how the price still sell a little bit more into this kind of price level, then we have a sell, we have a buy afterwards from there. So I don't like the range. I don't like this zone. It's not looking nice for me. So I'm going to definitely refine this on the lower time frame. But this is looking massive, bearish momentum. Okay. And with this rejection, it's just calling for a little bit attention that we might have a little bit of recovery to the upside before selling, whereby the price will just create a little movement like this. And I don't know where the energy is coming from. If we break this low around this price level, like I said before now, will be the last level that I will be looking for a recovery by again. So with that being said, I can't tell now. Let's go to the lower time frame, please. On the 4-hour time frame perspective, what do we have? It's very simple. You see the previous price level that we have here. You see how the market has really moved around that price level, and that is above the previous two highs that we have. And that means stop losses, liquidity is just residing above them. I want to see the price tapping into them before we start having a massive buy momentum. So currently, on 4-hour time frame perspective, we have a zone 2 we can work with for a good sell opportunity. So right here, it's a good one. I'm looking for a buy that we get into this level before we start selling. It might not really sell too much like that. In fact, it might sell just a little 1:2 of my risk profile right here, and the price tapped into the higher time frame perspective, which is the weekly supply zone right here. So from here we can still see more sell, but let's wait and see how the price reacts with this zone first. That's most important. Then on the 1-hour time frame perspective, do you have anything you want to work with here? I think that should be fine. That should be all. I'm not analyzing this. We have a previous low structure on 4-hour time frame. So if we shift that low too, what will happen? It depends. It depends how we shift it. It depends if the market opens and we have a straight sell right there and the price just move below this level. It depends on how we see the price structure. So it can mean that we're going to sell more, but there's no nice level around this place at all until the price gets to this area. And this is huge. Here to where the current market price is, it's about how many pips in total? Let me see. That's about 200 pips in total. So which means if the market will be swinging below this level, we should be expecting it to sell to this price level around here before we look for a buy in the future. So that's a long way from home, but let's see how the price reacts. Or are we to say it's long? It's not really long in the face of the market. So that's the projection we have here. And let's go to the next one, please. GBPJPY, I promise to talk about it when the price gets here eventually. And look at it. The price got just there since March 6th, which I talk about this in Port Harcourt seminar. The price just fulfill everything I thought about this entire range right there. Below this price level, I never talked about it again. I told you I will only see it when it comes here. So my promise is to talk about it again when the price gets to this previous level. You see this line? I drew it since March 6th, and you can see there. And the price actually gets to that previous level with the dotted line and it's showing a rejection power now, which is fantastic. So weekly time frame perspective, let me talk about this briefly. I don't want to, but I have to. On weekly time frame perspective, what I'm looking for over the time is to see the price actually breaking above that zone entirely. This is my range. If people don't see it, maybe you don't see it because I don't talk about it, but I've been talking about this since last year briefly, that the price it seems to break above here, grab liquidity, stop losses, all of those above this dotted line before we have the price actually swinging below again. And this is a very strong momentum right here in such a way that it's buying and selling, not leaving much opportunity for retracements and where you can catch next buys. But then that is a weekly time frame perspective, and if it could be this choppy, imagine what it looks like on the daily. Too much data, too much things to talk about, but I want to see a bit of sell momentum before we have more buy. And the way it's looking, we can just reject this level a little bit, just a little bit before we have another series of buys. So this one, free to take it out now. It has fulfilled exactly what we're looking for. And I want to say it's a little dimension of this into the buy momentum. It's still looking bullish anyways. This is a strong buy which has really bought for a lot of energy with a lot of energy rather. And with this one particularly, it's another zone we could be expecting the price to retest into. And the way it moves is very funny. You can just move aggressively back into this range and smash into that level again for the future. So don't get this whole thing overexcited. This is GBPUSD JPY. All right, it can take its time to do this to deliver, but well, if it's respect this level like I projected, I should be seeing it into this range in the future. And after a couple of days, I want to see more buy from here. So that's that. I won't be talking about the next two guys because I have no business with them. Now, this is the XAUUSD. Last week, it gave over 9,000 pips in profit because of the level we had here. On the weekly time frame perspective, let's see what it looks like. It's like we're recovering based on what we have here. Liquidity being grabbed. I thought about it last week. Like, since we have this, we might have more buy. And currently, last week was not so strong in the buy. And that is also giving another energy for this week that we might be looking for more sell till the price gets into this weekly level right here. And this is massive. I don't know what will happen. We make the crash. We make the good to crash this much. But let's see the daily time frame perspective if we have anything there. On this one particularly daily, yeah, it's juicy just around there. Look at this, it's very juicy around there where we can wait for more buy. The buy is just I'm concerned because the momentum is we're losing momentum for the buys. Okay, so it can be like this, and we see more stuff from there. This is on daily time frame perspective, but the buy momentum we're really losing the touch. We're losing the momentum right here. So let's see what we have on 4 hour time frame because my buyers will be so simple on that. On the 4 hours for the last one, this was it. It played out exactly on 15 minutes. This was analysis was given out on 15 minutes like this. So if you see this is a great one for last week. For those that took it, congratulations. It gave over 9,000 pips, and as you can see. So going forward, and let's go to the 4 hour time frame. I don't want to talk about this on the hour time frame, but when the market opens, my weekly recap session, I'm going to talk more about it. For those that joined that, they know what that means. Okay, if you're seeing this on YouTube only, there's a community where I share this information every single day, and I believe it's going to help you. You can comment, then I'm going to add you up to the community where you have day-to-day insight on what we do. So if I'm refining this level, this is what it will look like for me on the 4 hour time frame perspective. So therefore, I will be looking for more buy here, even though it's not really looking like high probability, but then it makes more sense if I'm looking towards that angle. Okay, it's better for me to look for a buy now and see it buy into this range before I start to sell off again. That looks better for me. So this is the whole thing I have to talk about on the gold, particularly. Nothing is really happening here. I just want to let's be careful. Let's trade this with caution. I just want to be careful with this. Okay. So on gold, particularly, yeah, this is what we have for this week. Going forward, I want to see sell to buy, but want to see more of the buy around here before we start selling. That is what I prefer. Okay, on 1 hour time frame, do we have any zone there? Yeah, somewhere around there. Looks good, like want to sell and buy off from here. But I don't want to risk into that. I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, let's go. Let's go. I think we can go to the next one. This guy fulfilled what I was expecting on 4 time frame and over delivered. So congratulations to those that took the buy from last week from here to this price level. So that's that on that. But let's check the weekly time frame on BTC US dollar. Let's we have excuse me. We're in a weekly supply zone, demand zone rather, and that's why we're looking for more buy right here. On the daily time frame perspective, what we're looking for, I have so many charts here, God. I have so many things on this chart. So this is a buy momentum. This is where we're seeing a little bit of sell energy right here in the future. So currently what we have here is very simple. It's just a matter of doing something like this. This is what I want to see. Okay. Not the matter of what I want to see. This is what the market is showing. So my projection just go with that automatically. So don't get me wrong when I say this is what I want to see. Okay, this is it here. This is a daily time frame perspective. Looking for price to smash down into this lower level. It seems more like the price will do that anyways. And from there I want to see more buy. Okay. This is a projection. This one particularly, I think we're done with. I can remove this anytime because that was the buy that took us in from here, and our stop loss was protected all through that level, and we're shifting higher highs and higher lows. So if this happens and we shift this high again, I'm going to take this out completely for now. Okay. So I don't want so much noise on my chart. That's why. Sorry. And the 4 hour time frame perspective is very simple. Look at what we have here. Really. So if I'm refining this, I'm going to do it just like this on the 4 hour time frame perspective. So which means the price is expected to move into this range. And that's what I want to see buy momentum for in the future. So particularly this one, I can extend this. I can take this out of my way and just want to see the price getting into this level, which is right here. This is a daily supply zone. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. This week, nothing much, no noise, just trade what you see, understand it, and put your risk management in the top-notch part of the business. So, yeah, that is what I want to see here. So, nothing much. Okay, we're done with this. Let's talk about this one, which is wheaty crude oil. This was the 2 hour time frame perspective I gave for you said the other time, and that's where the price went into, and it crashed significantly. If you check this on 2 hours as it is, you can see the price went just inside of this and it crashed significantly. So since then to now, nothing is really happening here on 4 hour time frame perspective. If we check WITI, what do we have here? Do we have any opportunity in the future? Well, I'm just going to state it the way it is. This same level is giving another vibe for a sell energy, which is right here within this zone. So I can take off the previous zone. This one has made us some couple of dollars from here down here. The crash, it was the level we projected on 2 hour time frame. So this is a 4 hour time frame projection, and what we're seeing here is looking more pretty like we want to see the price actually get giving it buy energy. The whole chaos of the thing is causing so much movement in the market, and it's okay. So long it's causing some movement, it's fine for traders. So this is what we have here, witty. Um, keep it up like that. So let's check the next one, which is the S&P 500, and we'll wrapping it up for today. Thank you for watching. Share this with friends and anyone that have interest in trading and can possibly benefit from what we're doing right here. Okay. On the daily time frame perspective, this is what I talked about at the beginning of that week, that we are not seeing the price actually shifting in bearish momentum after 5 weeks of series, 5 consecutive weeks of selling. And I talked about it in a video why we have the selling. And we have a turn, which is a recovery for 2 weeks right here. If you check it out, the previous week and last week, we have massive bullish momentum. And I said the price will hit in this level on a lower time frame before we have a sell again. And that means on the 4 hour time frame perspective, we have a zone. On this is the daily. This is also what it looks like on the daily zone. We have this momentum coming into this level, and I want to see a sell from here. So exactly what I'm looking for is what I'll repeat on the lower time frame perspective, because the flow is the same. And as you can see, just above these highs, like I talked about the other guys the other time, above these highs, we have stop losses just resting above them all right here. So it would be nicer to see the price creating that bullish momentum into this level and give us a sell momentum. Okay, so that'll be the bearish opportunity we have in this one, particularly for this week, and that is S&P 500. I just want to see more opportunity in that, and it's also possible on 1 hour time frame perspective that we have something juicy around here. Okay, around here is also good for a buy somewhere around here. So we could actually see a possibility for a sell that comes into this level that give us this buy into this range too. So this is also another thing we can also see in the markets for this week. This is 1 hour time frame. All right. This is one of the things we can see. And I'm taking that off again. Let's move with the higher time frame perspective, because I dwell more on higher time frame instead of the noisy. So this one particularly, I'm taking it off. I'm taking it off. I don't want noise, just movement, and let's learn from that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we come into the end of this week. Market forecast. Thank you very much for watching. Share, like, and comment on this one. The next time I'll be talking about this. Which one CPI would you like me to talk about? I'm going to share brief minutes and talk about it. It's going to be a massive week of opportunity. I want you to position yourself and make profit. And of course, learn through your lessons and learn through your losses as well. Risk management is important. Always do your own research. This is my own point of view in the market. I wish you the best and talk to you again. Bye for now.